Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So this is the watch list for Monday, December 18th. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Tesla. What I like about this is we are going to start to break out of a triangle range. So I'm just looking at it on the daily time frame. You can see here we had a high of just shy of 300. We had a nice trend line where we broke above it earlier in the week. So we are now starting to build some more momentum, higher volume. What I would do is I would look for stabilization of price and then a next price level to go back up and start to approach this 268.94. So if I was looking for calls, being that they are exceptionally expensive, I would probably start with the 260s and the 265s with hopefully some momentum to make our way back up closer to that 270 range. So keep an eye on Tesla. We got some good momentum, good volume, follow through. We're back above a trend line and looking positive. The next one I want to look at that's had some momentum is for solar. So FSLR is the ticker symbol. What I like about this one is we are starting to see some life being breathed back into some of these stocks that were beaten down considerably. So what I want to do here is I just want to look at a Fibonacci retracement from a prior pivot point from the prior high to the prior low. And you can see we're approaching this 169.04, which is the 61.8 reject. If we can hold this and build momentum, what I would look for is a next stop of 179.79. So look to target possibly the 180 calls. Watch and see how this behaves right here at this pivot. Let's take a look at it on a 5-minute time frame, and we are coming up to the pre-market open on Monday, and we are seeing some good strength. So keep an eye on First Solar, and I think that could be another one to go long based upon the overall strength of the market. The next one we're going to take a look at is going to be FedEx. They have earnings coming up this week. This is a stock that has literally recovered from the significant lows. They were really having challenges, you can see back down here at 141 back in September of last year. Round trip a year later, and just this thing has just taken off. Why is that? Complete new management. So why do I have confidence in this one? Well, if you watch what's been happening with oil prices, they've been coming down. Again, the same thing we have here is we had a nice trend line. We had a trend break, a drop down, a reclaim, and now we are starting to move higher. Possibly, I don't know that you're going to get a pullback on this one, but if you can look at this prior overall resistance level that was here, let me move that up just a tad if we could. Give me 1 second. There we go. Let's go and move it back up to the prior high. There we go. So you can see we had some resistance, pushed down, came up, had a little bit more resistance, a second test of resistance. Now we're back to the resistance. We break above it and we're finding some momentum. So where do I think that FedEx is possibly going from here? What I would look at is we're going to look at this on a lower time frame just to see how it's been behaving. And I would say we're going to probably push back up closer to this 300 level. So that's what I would keep my eye on if I was going to go long, go for calls. Again, there are earnings, so depending upon what is said, this stock moves fairly well off of earnings. And you can see that down here. Back from December of last year, we had earnings and a move up. Then we had another earnings announcement and a move up. Another earnings announcement, a move up. So this stock has been, for the most part, gapping up on the last earnings announcements. We'll see if the trend line continues. With oil coming down, gasoline prices coming down, should be a good one to keep your eye on. So keep an eye on those 300 calls. And then the next one I want to take a look at is AMD. So the chip sector in semiconductors has been having tremendous momentum, predominantly also because of NVIDIA after its earnings release really held up strong. So let's take a look at overall AMD. So we're going to take from a pivot high to a pivot low. You can see that we have broken past the 50, broken past the 618, and now we are approaching this 786, which from my perspective is the third and final trend line before we go back and start to test prior highs. So where were prior highs? 154.89, and then up to right around 164.46. So what I would target with this one is watch and make sure that it holds 141.32. If it does, then I would go long with the most likely 150 calls, possibly the 145s. It just depends on how long does it take it to get there. Will it happen at the beginning of the week or more midweek? So if it doesn't break this until Wednesday, then I would go with the 145s. If it breaks this and holds on Monday, then possibly look at the 150s. And then the last one that I like is Amazon. So Amazon has been seeing really good relative strength over the last couple of days. We have some nice bullish consolidation right here within this range. You can see how it's just been consolidating between about 143, 148. I think what's going to happen here is that this will break higher to the upside. So why is that? Well, let's take a look at the other prior support that is going to hold this higher. We are right about here on this candle. There we go. So you can see we hit a candle high, we came down, we touched the line, we came down again. We've been oscillating around it. We found some stability once we got above it. We tested, we're now moving up. Let's take a look at this on a 4-hour chart. You can see we're building some momentum in the after hours going in. And then where would I target? I would target the next pivot point. So that last pivot point where it dropped was about 157.86. And then moving on back up to the 170 range. So if we have continued momentum in the market and it looks like the bulls are in control, what I would do is I would look to probably buy that 150 call to the 155 call. I don't know that I would go up to the 160. This is, a fairly volatile stock, but it also kind of moves slowly and it moves in waves, as you can see. So it's not like NVIDIA or AMD or some of the others where you just get these violent moves up. It tends to consolidate and then break out. So those are the things that I'm watching for this upcoming week. Hopefully you found great value in this. And if you did, just smash that like button. And I will not have a pre-market next week as I will be traveling for the holidays. So with that, I wish each and every one of you a very, very happy holiday season. And I'm super excited for 2024. I think there's going to be so much market potential, whether we continue to move higher or we sell off, backfill, and then move to new all-time highs. So with that, happy holidays, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.